Hi everyone, welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. I'm so excited to have you here. Man, my dogs are like right here in it. They are ready to go. They are ready for this reading. All right, we are going to take a look at the next 3 months. We're going to see what's going on. We're going to get a general theme right here. Please keep in mind this is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. Feel free to visit this reading whenever you so choose. All right. What is the theme for Pisces next 3 months? Please, Spirit, what can you tell us about Pisces next 3 months? What is the theme for Pisces next 3 months? Okay. Wow. Pisces, it seems like a pretty powerful time for you. It feels like a time where you're really going places. Things are really transforming. Things are really changing. In fact, this transformation card even says a fresh new way of living emerges. You have this kind of side energy. You are strong beyond measure. Expand your horizons. It almost feels like, you know, divine encouragement. You know, think about what it is you want and don't be afraid to think outside the box or to take alternate pathways to achieve it, to make it happen. You know, always, like, I feel like it's just saying to you, look at every possibility, like open to every possibility. You know, I do feel like you will be making progress on even your like soul mission here, with answering the call and reaching your destination. You have this narrow pathway on the bottom of the deck, and it's just giving me this vibe of there is more than one way to reach your destination. And I feel like this has been a real theme lately, just in the energy, and it just feels like to keep in mind that there is more than one way. And it's giving me this vibe of an opportunity to jump a timeline or to make something happen faster or to kind of almost take a shortcut. And they always say, you know, in life there are no shortcuts, but this is just giving me a vibe there. You may be able to kind of not have to deal with obstacles. There might be an easier way that's showing up here, but it may require a lot of courage, or it may require you to kind of really step into your power to take it. So I don't know, keep an eye open for that. All right, let's dive in. For the month of July, what do we have going for Pisces? For Pisces, what is happening the month of July for Pisces? It feels like the month of July really begins some kind of, sorry, I have the hiccups. Let me grab some tea. The month of July, it feels like begins sort of this cycle, or I don't know, like period of time till the end of the year. And there is powerful change that is happening as a result of your hard work. You know, with the what do you need to release, this actually feels like any kind of self-doubt or limiting belief system that could be holding you back. The adjustments that are required, it's like you're only seeing half the story. So the other half has to come into picture. And this can be like literally, you know, the universe is still sort of making opportunities available, or, you know, moving, shifting places, people, whatever, into alignment with you, or, you know what I mean? Like, it's like not everything is completely where it needs to be for this to really happen. Part of the story is there. It's coming though. It's coming. Okay. Whoa. I wasn't expecting that card. So you have time, waiting, patience, pause, duration. It says waiting out the storm, time running out, time will tell. There's something here where something hasn't all totally quite fallen into place, but it's coming. And so this is just a matter of timing. And then you have this child energy. It says new curiosity, innocence, free, unburden, let your inner child out. This is always like a beginner's mind kind of card to me. Like, be open to all the possibilities. You know, when we start to feel like we know, when we get deeply entrenched in our opinions or our viewpoints, or even thinking that we know everything about something or a lot about something, or we're an expert on something, it takes away our curiosity, and it takes away us seeing all the opportunities. It takes away from us opening to the experience fully, because we're coming in sort of narrow focused, sort of narrow minded, and sort of informed or feeling informed. And so we don't have the same broad blank slate that we do when we have a beginner's mind. So it is saying to embrace a beginner's mind, embrace, that you don't know everything, which, I love that. I try to embrace that attitude every day, even about life, but on the bottom of the deck, you have desire, sexual urge, attraction, pull, lust, sexual energy, undeniable chemistry. So there is definitely something related to that. Either there's someone that you're going to find yourself really attracted to, or someone, this can be like someone's coming in where there is this mutual attraction or chemistry. Well, you have the High Priestess and Judgment as your theme for the month of July. And, Judgment and the High Priestess, if this is just you with you, which it may be, right? It can be almost an energy of a phoenix. And we did see that in the first cards that I pulled about the theme for the next 3 months. That transformation card definitely had a picture of a phoenix on it. So there is this energy of having an ability now to sort of rise above a circumstance or a situation. This can be, like a reconciliation or getting another chance in a relationship. So we'll see. We're going to look at some other things that'll make it clearer, more clear, I guess I should say. But with the High Priestess on the bottom of the deck, all of this energy, all of this action comes from really connecting with yourself, really connecting with your intuition, making time and space for yourself here, even to, keep connected with yourself, to not get so fully wrapped up or immersed in all these changes taking place that we forget to connect to ourselves, or to take that time for self here. For Pisces, please, Spirit. For Pisces. Sorry, Bunchy. I ran my rolly chair into my grand dog as she was sleeping at my feet. Oh, you're gonna get in that chair, girl. All right, let's see what's happening here. I just heard this song, Feel Like Bustin' Loose. What? I just heard this song. Oh my gosh. I feel like bustin' loose. I don't know. You guys are incredible. Like, knowing the songs when I get absolutely nothing, no part of it out to you. You're like, oh, that's this song. I'm like, oh, yes. Yesterday, someone put Follow You Down Gym Blossoms in the comments because that song came through. And oh my gosh. it just meant a lot to me. Thank you to the person who did that. Actually, yesterday when I was reading your comments, I actually started like vibrating. Like I actually had a response to your response to me. Which, whoa. Okay, anyway, here we go. You have magnifying glass. We're just saying like get more info, get curious. There's, you know, kids are very curious, and there's this energy, there's this very like, look into it more. If you're interested in it, check it out. You know, if you like for example are reading a book about, I read this book, yes, I finished it in one day. It was called One Golden Summer, and it took place in Canada, not too far from Toronto. Well, anyway, I started looking into it. I was like, oh my gosh, this sounds so amazing, these lakes, and I love Canada, and I went there when I was a kid on a train, and it was amazing, and then I took my kids there. Anyway, and it was Canada Day recently, and today is the 4th of July. Happy birthday, America. Happy 4th, everyone. And, you know, it's like, get curious about it. Don't be like, oh, wow, that really... you know, like I just found out like what I have to do in order to be able to go to Canada. Like, cause we didn't used to need a passport, but now we do. I guess we have for quite a while. But anyway, the thing is like, don't just let these things that pique your curiosity or interest you pass by. You know, it's like, consider that a sign or a synchronicity. At least look into it. At least see where it leads you. At least look, you know, at least know that that curiosity happened for a reason. And even keep a journal or write it down, like things that you're curious about, and revisit it when you have more time if you are running short of time. But there's just this energy of, you know, really kind of yeah, a lot of times there is like an intuitive nudging that sort of makes us curious, or you know, I don't know what it is that makes us curious, but the thing is, it's happening for a reason. And what is that reason? Sometimes the reason is what you find out along the way. You know, sometimes it's, you know, maybe I'm meant to go to England. I don't know. And really what, like this whole curiosity about Canada got me thinking about traveling and getting a passport and, you know, all of those things. And then it's like, all of a sudden, out of the blue, I'll have this opportunity to go to England, or, you know what I'm saying? And like, I would be so far behind if I hadn't followed my curiosity. Like, it's just showing me a relation between things that we're curious about and things that are coming, or things that could potentially unfold if we were ready for them. It's giving me this vibe. I used to really live my life like this, to be prepared for every opportunity. I like in my 20s, that was kind of my theme. And my brother had been a Boy Scout, and their theme is like, always be prepared or whatever. And I was like, I just want to be able to say yes to everything. And so, you know, I tried to have a little money saved, which was very hard in my early 20s, waitressing. You know, I always tried to be in a position where if an opportunity came up, I would be able to say yes, or I'd be able to take advantage of it. And that sort of is I'm getting this feeling as well. You have the Stallion, break free, strong emotions, desire, sexual energy. Pisces, there's a lot of sexual energy here in the month of July. And there's a drive, and I do feel like it's coming at you. I mean, it could be yours, but I feel it's coming at you. I really feel it's coming at you. It's directed toward you. You may be looking very attractive. You may be in a really beautiful energy. You may be, I feel like you're sought after in July. It's crazy. You know, I feel like you're kind of going through a bit of a metamorphosis, or you have, and maybe it's like right now the world starts reflecting back to you the beauty that you have become. I mean, can you imagine? We don't even really see caterpillars in our world all that much. But when the caterpillar becomes a butterfly and it crosses into our view, we go, oh my gosh, oh my God. I took my best friend to my favorite botanical garden, and there were butterflies everywhere, and we were both just like, oh my gosh, did you see that one? Did you see that one? That's a yellow one. That's a blue one. You know, like we were all just like kind of freaking out. There were just so many of them everywhere. And like, it feels like that. It feels like, you know, going through a period of time where you're like a caterpillar, where it's like, yeah, sometimes people notice you, and when they do, they're like, oh, look at the furry caterpillar. It's so cute. It's so, you know, like whatever. And then it's going to become a butterfly, you know, and then the reaction you get when you show up a butterfly, like the world responds completely differently to you. It's feeling like there's some kind of transition here where there is a big shift in the way the world responds to you. You do have this Celtic knot, unconditional love, legendary divine union, eternal love, and you have this raccoon problem solver energy. And you know, for whatever reason, I am seeing you know, when you get a necklace, like especially when you travel or whatever, and you take a necklace off and the chain gets all twisted up in itself, or like when my daughter moved, she just put her entire wall jewelry holder in a space saver bag and sucked the air out of it to like keep it from whatever. When we unpacked her, there was like 50 necklaces just all tangled up together, and I actually sat and undid them. And it's this energy of unwinding something that's gotten really tangled. It could be a past person. You do have the crow here with memories and remembering, and sort of untangling a tangled past or a tangled situation. You know, when I think this is what happened, or this is what happened from my perspective, and you know, then we have the opportunity to sit down with someone else who went through the exact same thing and their perspective and how they experienced it and how very different that is. And you know, when we sit down and we go through it thing by thing, and we realize like, oh, whoa, that's what you were thinking, that's how you experienced it. It sort of feels like that. I'm also getting the energy of like unzipping a zipper. So sort of feels like getting to the bottom of something. Then you have the Chariot card here. A lot of kind of movement energy. I feel like you have somebody coming at you. It also says from June 22nd to July 21st on the card. Maybe a very heavy emphasis on this time period of Cancer season. Divine timing plays a huge role in this situation. This cycle is complete. Time to start a new one. Abundance and stability are entering your life now. This is a soulmate, but it's also a lesson. Unexpected communication coming in. Vibes don't lie. Well, there you go, Pisces. There's something that is happening right now for a reason that may have been hung up for some time. We've seen cards like that. Someone may have needed to release some limiting beliefs, or some things needed to shift into place. They needed to get ready. They needed to be ready. Who are we talking about here, Spirit? Who's Pisces dealing with in the month of July? Who's the main character in Pisces energy besides Pisces? Somebody is coming in to make peace with you, Pisces. Wow. Someone's coming in to communicate with you, to make peace with you, to unfurl the story, to find out what has happened, to sort of compare notes. There is a reason why this is coming towards you at this time. You notice everything is coming towards you. All these cards feel like they're coming towards you, I feel like. Either you were not ready or this person was not ready. On the bottom of the deck, you have Buffalo Spirit. The abundant universe will provide. That just means, you know, trust the process, I feel like, you know. Don't worry about the how, the when, the where, or the why. Just know that when something is meant to be, the universe conspires for it to be so. Yeah. So what this person wants to say to you: I tried to stop these feelings, but now you're burning hotter and brighter than ever within me. I find you in music. I want to follow you through all time and all universes. I can't bring myself to open up and let you in. It's like we're star-crossed lovers. Will we ever make it work? You leave me breathless and without words. Yeah. I do think, Pisces, this is someone who did try to get over you. I do think that they are someone who wasn't ready to be emotionally vulnerable, found it incredibly difficult to let you in or to even express themselves, express their feelings, let you see what was underneath the mask. Doesn't it even look like this buffalo is wearing a mask? There's a cycle that's closing out between you and someone. And it feels like a cycle of separation or stagnation. For some of you, this could even be like closure. This person may come in and say things to you, and then what really may happen is that you may really be like, okay, well, and then we get the 10 of Cups coming out. There's definitely a cycle closing out. You have 8, 9, 10, 10. 10. I feel like someone walked away because they thought that they were going to experience, because they thought that it was the right, they thought if I walk away, I'll feel better. I'll be okay. I'll be able to be emotionally content on my own. And I think they walked away and they found out that they in fact were not emotionally content on their own. And that even being emotionally content on their own wasn't their goal. It wasn't even what they actually really wanted anymore. They want to be content emotionally with another human, you know, like in a connection. Let me clarify this Tower. This person, I think they're realizing, they finally are looking at what was blocking them, what was preventing them from being able to come forward. They're having some kind of breakthrough around it. And there is definitely with the Father of Pentacles here, you know, they're showing up in a very, like, in the best energy probably possible for them. Wow, there's a huge change happening. Man, this person, they couldn't make a decision. They refused to make a decision. Oh man, it's kind of like, it's sort of giving me, Pisces, where it's like you put the ball in their court. You were like, all right, well, this is your decision. I mean, if we're going to keep doing this, maybe we need to be committed, or maybe I need to know how you feel, or, you know, whatever. And I think that they just sort of closed off. They just sort of shut down. They may not have said no, but they didn't say yes. They may not have really come out in a harsh way, but they shrank, you know, they pulled their energy back, they closed off, they shut down. And in that period of time, I feel like with this Hangman and the Four of Swords, this person has had an opportunity to kind of look back on the past and really ask themselves, well, I mean, I think they've gotten a new perspective, but I think that they've also, it's like they're seeing something clearly. And with the Death card, you know, people can only change because they decide that that's what they want, you know, and this feels very much like you may have put this person in a place where the ball was in their court, they had a decision to make, and their indecision was their decision for you. You know, it was kind of like, well, I don't need to prove my worth. I don't need to sit here and beg. I don't need to... If you've been around me and you've been around my energy and you know what I have to offer and you know what I have to give, how could there even be a question for you? How is this not just kind of an automatic answer? And I think that they asked themselves that same question with the Hangman and the Four of Swords. You know, I think definitely they felt your absence. And I think, you know, at first they may have just tried to sort of get over it or move past it, or just sort of, you know, even sort of pretend that they were not even feeling what they were feeling. But with the 10 of Wands showing up here with the Tower, it's saying, you know, they couldn't stop, you know, they couldn't stop. It became too big a burden. It intensified. And I think the more clarity that kind of looking back on it gave them, you know, maybe they realized how happy they were. Maybe they realized that, you know, sometimes we will say, like, I wish I never would have met this person, because now that I know this person, I know this amount of love, I know this amount of connection, I know this amount of happiness. And it's like, I can't unknow it, I can't unsee it, I can't unfeel it, I can't undo it, I can't go back to who I was before I met this person. And I feel like that's kind of what your person is going through, Pisces, here with these particular cards. It's sort of like, I was happy on my own, and then I met Pisces, and then I walked away from Pisces. And now it's like I can't seem to find happiness without Pisces. Like, I can't seem to be able to get back in touch with it. And I'm kind of realizing I don't want to. Like, maybe I'm not meant to. Maybe it isn't about me being happy on my own. Maybe it is me being able to share in this emotional contentment with another person, because that's just, it's higher than this emotional contentment I feel on my own, or it's more fulfilling or more satisfying, or, you know, now that I've experienced it, I can't unexperience it. I can't unfeel it. I can't unknow it. And so this person is faced with the choice yet again of, you know, well, do you get your act together? and show up as the King of Pentacles and show up as someone who is capable of rising to meet this occasion? Or, you know, do you just give it up? And it's like, I think they tried to give it up. I think that that was the easy way out. I think that they spent maybe even some time, some amount of time, trying not to feel how they felt, trying not to give in to this, trying to avoid and escape dealing with it. But I mean, the truth is that I don't think they've done that successfully, because I think that what they have arrived at is that they want to come back around and they want to have this emotional contentment again. With the Knight of Swords, it's like they're rushing in to speak this truth. Like they don't want any more time to pass. And it feels like it's happening like in Cancer season. There's the Wheel of Fortune is there. There's a change. It's happening for you. All right, Pisces. Well, let's dive into Leo season. Let's look at August. See what happens. We've got like just over 2 weeks left of Cancer season. We do have 4 planets going retrograde, including Mercury here, though, coming up. So that can be an intense time for, you know, exes to come back around, people to have major realizations. Let's see what happens here. All right, Pisces, for August. Spirit, what does Pisces have to look forward to in August? What's going on in August? Wow, again, you have this expect powerful change card. A new romantic cycle begins. I think someone's coming in July to talk to you and tell you something. And then I feel like, wow, you have the entire Libra moon cycle here. You may be dealing with someone who is a Libra or a Libra moon. Actually, it's pretty funny. I'm a Libra sun, Gemini moon, Libra rising. Interesting energy, a heavy emphasis on Libra season here. Because you do have, and we are going to look at September. So Libra season begins at the end of September. But you do have the new moon in Libra and the full moon in Aries both happening probably in October. I think the full moon is October 6th. The full moon in Aries, I think it happens on October 6th. Anyway, guys, there is a very powerful energy here in August. You have expect powerful change. A win-win outcome is forecast. The answers you need are coming. A fiery climax approaches. You know, these are all very like climatic, dramatic, like a lot happening, intense energy here. Heavy emphasis on the 6-month Libra moon cycle, from the new moon in Libra October to the full moon in Libra, typically April. If you don't like what you have when you get to the new moon in Libra, manifest like crazy. Okay. Man, it feels like something is really rocking your world in August, guys. Like, it seems really intense. You've got this kind of warrior energy. And it says fight, protection, cautious. Gosh, that word curious just wants to come out in this reading. And then you have this, not everything that is bad, and not everything that is good is good. And, we talk about that on the channel all the time. I actually can't stand the words bad and good. I just don't like them. Everything is a spectrum. And there isn't a good side or a bad side. It's all part of the same energy. And we need all of it in order to appreciate any of it. But we talk about this a lot, with the yin and yang, where there is always light in the dark and dark in the light. But actually, I just got the strongest feeling of this, where, when you, like, let's just say, okay, that like you broke up with someone. And I mean, things were really tense. You were fighting a lot, but it was a deep soul connection. Or, there were things that were happening that just couldn't be tolerated, right? But it was a deep, deep, deep soul connection. And you really hated to let it go, but you knew that it wasn't good for you in the form that it was at the time. And so you broke up, and it was really hard, and it took you months of just making yourself put one foot in front of the other to sort of like move through the space. And then this person comes back around, a few months later, and they've changed, they've transformed, and so have you, and so has the connection. And now you're able to like meet each other on a much deeper level. And the intimacy, levels of intimacy are incredible, because before, this was someone who really couldn't open up and really couldn't, give you what you needed. But now, having gone through a major, ego death or soul transformation or whatever it is, spiritual awakening, they're showing up in a very different energy, and they're able to really give you something that you've always wanted, that you've always craved. And it's just like a dream come true. But it started with something quote unquote bad. And so was that bad, or was that bad good? Was it something that actually led to a greater satisfaction and contentment in your life? And would that have been possible had it happened any other way? So there's just this like reserved judgment kind of thing. Or this could be a month where you start to look at things that you once considered bad as good. Or, maybe someone left you high and dry, and it was a really messed up situation, and there was just like, you were like, there is no silver lining to this. There is no good to be found here. Like, this is just bad. And then you meet someone 3-4 months later that makes you go, oh, I'm so glad that happened, because if I were still with that person, I wouldn't be available for this. And this is clearly what is meant to be. I mean, you know what I'm saying? There's all kinds of scenarios here where bad things become good things, or where, things that once looked really, really bleak, really end up being the catalyst for change. I have so many stories of that happening that it's pretty incredible. Like, you just collect them over the years, And then you have this, it's not yet known, more to ponder, confusion. Which means, to me, it's like it's this energy of reserving the need to make judgment on something, to just sort of let it figure itself out, let it find itself, let it organically unfold, let it reveal itself to you, let it show itself to you, not needing to, say it is one thing or it is another. And then you have another card that's talking about passion. And it says, you are the page, the ink, the poem, unwritten. Every moment holds so much possibility. And I feel like this moment in August, it's got a lot of potential. I feel like it's kind of like a firecracker. It feels like it has a lot of intense energy, but like it could be really beautiful. You know, it could be that moment where a lot of things start to make sense that haven't made sense for a while. You do have the answers you need are coming. Okay, you have death and the sun. Damn, wow. That is, I mean, this is a very transformative time, Pisces. This may be your life may not look anything like it does now at the end of this year. You know, we saw that original cycle of, you know, July to December, and with the death card and the sun, there is just this energy of almost like a complete transformation, or even a transformation through healing, a transformation through growth, a transformation through clarity. This can also be, you know, the sun can talk about a reconciliation of soulmates. So it could have been something that ended that's getting a new opportunity to come back together. But it is a transformation towards, I feel like, a deep, I got the word unending right there, happiness. So we'll see. Let's see what else we can find out. This sun is a card of Leo. The death card is a card of Scorpio. There may be like a little cycle happening within a bigger cycle that goes, you know, from August to October, November, inside the larger cycle. You guys have so many things, it feels like, coming towards you. This warrior, by the way, is saying you must have faith that there is nothing that can stand in your way. So you might want to keep that in mind. Wow, you have the devil, the clock again, dolphins, the rider, the tree, the house, the moon, and the world. Wow. Someone may be traveling across an ocean to see you, or you may be traveling across an ocean to see someone, or you may even be traveling and finding a new home. I've gotten this reference like a couple of times in this reading. Some of you are actually changing locations. Okay, some of you, and I don't know, I feel like whoever I'm tapping into when I say this is someone who really loves animals. But there may be some kind of opportunity to follow a passion, to do something with passion, especially if it relates to animals. It may also require you to travel. Super specific message, I get it, but it's like something that you couldn't have totally imagined, or like maybe you have imagined it, or you have wished for it, or you have dreamed for it, or you've gotten yourself kind of as close as you can to the thing, and then like all of a sudden I feel like something is revealed. And it feels like a wish fulfilled. There's like a solution to something. A solution comes into view here in August. And let me see what this devil is about. But I feel like there is someone who's a little obsessing over you, or yes, this very strong, travel. Okay, someone gave into their lower vibrational tendencies. They had an opportunity with you, I think, to kind of join up, to sort of pair off with you, to like make a team that could move forward in a very positive way. And I think they ran from it. I think that it was really coming together organically, and there was a lot of potential. And I mean, you could see the success and victory. You were close, and this person bolted. And they bolted because of a really limited belief system. I do feel like this is something that this person needed to work through on their own. They needed to come into balance within themselves in order to come into balance in a duo, in a pair here. And I think that there is something that is breaking, but feels like busting loose. What in the world? What is that song? Busting loose, and I feel like busting loose. What is that song? I feel like busting loose, busting loose. Give me the bridge now. I feel like busting loose. I don't know. Chuck Brown, 1979. I don't know. But I mean, I've heard it twice now, just as clear as day. Anyway, this may be someone that you've been dealing with that was very buttoned up or very serious or very, you know, and they may be like, okay, screw it. I'm throwing caution to the wind. Someone's coming towards you. It feels like a message is coming towards you. For a lot of you, it also feels like someone could be traveling toward you, closing the distance between you, trying to find a solution. Somebody wants your attention. Hold tight, breakthroughs are coming. Keep going, the results you seek are coming soon. Possible third party or blockage. You may not see the progress now, but trust that it's happening regardless. That has come out a few times lately for you, Pisces. And when I saw this moon card, I actually got that message again. So this may be something that you have no idea is happening or busting loose right now, but it is. Like, it's happening behind the scenes, or it's happening within someone, or someone is getting the courage to come forward, or the logistics to come forward. You know, like, especially if it like requires travel. This person's figuring it out. This could also be, Pisces, where you have told someone, listen, until you're ready for this, or until you're ready for XYZ, then don't come back, or don't, you know what I mean? Like, only come back when you're ready for this, or when you figured out how to make this work. And it can be that this person has finally figured it out, and that they are coming back. Like, this is, you have truth transcends illusion here with the dragonfly spirit, which is giving me this vibe of, you know, someone who may have been all talk, or may have been a really good talker, is now showing up very, you know, like, oh, I have a plan and this is it, and it's very serious, and there's work that's been done, and, you know, their actions are saying something different. Yeah, I think you're dealing with someone who wasn't ready for a commitment, who just wasn't ready. There's someone who, it's like they were faced with this opportunity, and they gave in to their lower vibrational tendency to avoid and escape and run from it. I think it was coming together really beautifully, very solidly, very kind of organically, especially like, you know, if this is someone who is used to sort of like trauma energy and it's coming together in a way that is healthy with the Temperance card, and is, I don't want to say easy because nothing is easy, but you know, it's just sort of working out, or, you know, both people are sort of mature. And so, you know, it's kind of happening. And they don't have any outlet to be like, oh, it's not going to work because of this, or oh, it's not going to work because of that. Then there's this energy of, you know, self-sabotage, or I'll blow, you know, they blow it up, because, you know, people who are used to trauma sort of thrive. Trauma releases chemicals in our brain, and our brain gets used to it. You know, when we're living in an unstable environment, or we're living in a space where we don't know what to expect, and everything is sort of disjointed and chaotic, and it's unpredictable and unstable, our brain sort of gets used to operating with that set of chemicals going off in our brain. And so when something is safe, and something is nurturing, and something is loving, and something is healthy, and something is coming together in a really organic and solid and balanced way, our brain starts to freak out. Our brain starts to go, wait, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel normal. Like, where are all those chemicals my brain got used to? Like, this isn't it. And so they freak out and they bolt a lot of times, right? Because it feels uncomfortable. It feels like some place that they can't trust. Or if people have a really jaded sense of what love is, when they're faced with love, they're like, oh, this isn't love. I'm actually not really feeling anything, or, you know, this is boring, or this isn't, you know, and then it's like, they lose the person and they're like, why do I feel this awful? Why can't I get over this? Why can't I just, you know, move away from this? Why can't I just be okay now? Like, I don't understand. I didn't really think I was feeling all that much. And then it's like, you realize love is not dramatic and chaotic and all over the place. Love is something that, you know, gets you through the chaos, the drama, the conflict, all the bullshit that's happening outside. I mean, I literally was just thinking about that this morning, because it's the 4th of July, and just my heart breaks for my country, you know? I mean, honestly, some of you are my fellow Americans and some of you are not, but like, my heart breaks, and my heart breaks for the whole freaking world right now. It's so sad. I mean, just God. But like, when I actually thought of you all, when I thought of this, I was thinking about the comments that you all gave me, and how we are complete strangers, and we are from all over the world. We are from very different backgrounds and very different places. And we are all spiritual beings having a human experience that somehow resonate and connect here on this YouTube channel. And like, I kept thinking, like, thank God for the land of the free, where we can, you know, upload these messages to YouTube, and where we have this opportunity to connect. That however it worked out, we found each other, and there is a lot of love on this channel. You know, when I say somebody's having a hard time in our community, you guys are always out there praying and leaving messages of support for your fellow people, which like absolutely makes my heart sing. And yesterday, the freaking comments that you guys were leaving, just, I literally was feeling vibration from them. And so there is this crazy energy exchange that we have here, and it is love. It is on a very primal level, this connectedness between our spirits and, you know, this experience that we're having. I mean, not to be like woo woo or whatever, but like, it is incredible when you think about it, that you and I would ever come into contact with each other, and that you and I, you know, might tell each other our deepest secrets. I mean, I tell you guys stuff I don't tell people that I meet on the street, you know, which is kind of funny, but you know, I mean, it's like, it is so incredible and so remarkable, and the human spirit is just such a powerful force. And it's just, you know, I'm so grateful to be here with you all. And I thought, you know, the problem does not lie with us. The problem lies outside of us. And as long as we stay here together in this space of love and connection and trying to walk each other home non-judgmentally, unconditionally, accepting and loving each other, we're going to be all right. Love is going to win. It just is. Because there's more of this energy than there is of anything else, And it kind of feels like that in your energy, just in general, Pisces. It's like not everybody you've come into contact with has done you right. And you are a deeply emotional, loving being who has the capacity to love people in ways that they just haven't experienced and they're just not used to. And it's not too much and there's nothing wrong with it. It is absolutely the most fucking beautiful experience ever for the people who receive it. They are blessed and lucky. As one Libra that has been fortunate enough to have been loved by a few Pisces, holy crap, man. When they figure it out, man, that's all I can say. Of course they're going to regret it if they lose you. And but that's not here nor there. That's not your job or your responsibility. Your job and your responsibility is just to yourself, And there will be people who come into your life who see you, who acknowledge you, who know you, and who feel the same way I do about you, that are just grateful as hell to have you in my life. And I am grateful as hell to have you in my life. So there you go. But here's the thing. I don't know why I got just so off track right there. I don't even know where I was going with all of that, but hopefully we went there together and we're coming back from it. But it says, you're like my long lost best friend. Like, this person connected to you on such a deep level. You do not feel that with every passing ship. There are some people that you just never get over. And Pisces, I feel like you are that person. And it sucks in a way because it's like people maybe don't really recognize it when they have it in their hands. You are not boastful. You are an unconditional lover. That's why you're the Queen of Cups. You do not boast. You do not remind people how lucky you are. You are not constantly showing off and showboating and triangulating and manipulating and doing all these things. You're just not normally that person. Not to say that you don't have it in you and not to say that you're not capable of it, but that's just typically not who you are. You're not somebody who's like, oh, let me remind you daily how lucky you are to be with me. And so when you don't, you can slip through someone's fingers like grains of sand. And then they can be looking on the entire beach trying to find you over and over and over again for the rest of their life. And that sucks. Like, why couldn't they just appreciate you when they had you? Well, I don't know. But maybe there's some unfinished karmic business there. Maybe that's the story of that soulmate. But trust, there is someone out there that's going to be holding you in their hands. And they're going to see you and they're going to know you and they're going to appreciate you. I don't think there's been a single Pisces in my life that I've ever let get away from me. No. Nope. So you're just holding out for that person. And maybe this is the one. Maybe they're coming back. Maybe they're like, oh, hell, I let you go. And I was sick and I realized, like, holy shit, because they are. The Devil, the Seven of Swords, the Chariot, the Temperance card coming out kind of sideways there. I had this good thing going. We were actually marching towards success and victory, and I fucked it up. I sabotaged the situation. I did what I always do. I pulled the escape route. Because why? Because I wasn't ready. Because I didn't feel like I could commit to anyone. Because I didn't feel whole. I felt broken. And you know what? Sometimes you make someone want to face those things and change those things with you. And sometimes your absence is what leads them to the water that they need to drink from. And that may be just what happened here. This person wasn't looking for you. They were not looking for something like this. But they feel what they feel and they can't stop it. They thought for a long time that it would be easier if they just stayed away and if they just got over it, but they couldn't. They couldn't. We saw last month, or we see here. I tried to stop these feelings, but now they're burning hotter and brighter within me. And they tried to stay away. They did. But they have something with you that they cannot replicate and that they have never found in anyone else. And that's just the long and the short of it. So let's dive in with the tarot. So what is going on with this person? Please, Pisces. I mean, please. Oh, the sun. The sun coming out twice. This could be a very happy time. Wow, the world coming out twice. Wow, the Two of Cups. The Nine of Wands, the Hierophant. Wow, the Father of Cups and the Father of Pentacles. Man. The Fool, the Seven of Pentacles. Man, Temperance in reverse with the Three of Swords upright. Damn, Pisces. Like, yeah, this person's brokenhearted that they interrupted this process of coming together with you. They clearly can see now that it was headed toward victory and success. There was a lot of happiness there. There was a lot of fulfillment. I think, you know, now they're free from whatever these burdens were that were kind of holding them back or making them defensive or making them, I kind of want to say fear commitment, but just guarded against commitment is really what it is. There's something here where it took as long as it took, but now it feels like this person is ready to take a leap here where they weren't before. There's definitely a cycle closing out here for you, Pisces, and there is a new one opening, and it is about to be revealed. It's about to be very clear to you in August what is possible and what this potential is. This is someone who's worked very hard to get their emotions in check, to be able to process their own emotions, to be able to sit with their own emotions, to be able to feel what they feel for you, Pisces, and not run from it, but to maintain their sense of stability and security within having those feelings at the same time, kind of vibe. All right, let's see what happens in September. Ooh, I just looked at my clock. It is 1:11 on the 4th of July. 1:11. I mean, that's crazy. I just looked at it and it like is lit up for some reason. It must have a notification or something on it. But it says 1:11 on the 4th of July. You know, when I used to do all signs, I would, you know how many decks I like to use, Pisces. And I would have all these decks and I'd be shuffling between 12 zodiac signs. Like, oh my goodness. I look back and I'm like, wow, I can't believe I did it. It would take me hours and hours and hours. All right. Let's see what's going on in September for Pisces, please, Spirit. In September for my Pisces. Wow, you have the new moon in Virgo, which happens in September, so that could be a very significant time around the actual new moon. I feel like there's something that is getting worked out through communication, through unwinding some things. and through like, I feel like honesty and stuff in July and August. And I feel like there is an action, a major action step happening in September. Like, you know, first we have the awareness, and then we speak the words, and then we make it happen. We start making the moves to really make it happen. It could be, Pisces, that you were dealing with someone who, I don't want to say it was like selfish, but it's kind of that vibe. It's like they were only seeing things from their own perspective. And I feel like now they're really trying to be accommodating to you, or trying to see things more from your perspective. I do think they have very strong feelings, or everything feels kind of intense in September. And it can be because like we're working through fears. Like this person may be going into uncharted territory. You know, working on my shadow and doing all this work personally and privately is different than actually putting it into practice, right? It's different than I'm actually trying to be in a loving connection and, you know, have faith and trust, right? Yeah, so it feels like there's almost this bubble around this situation. You have romance, cuddling, the little things, love, soulmate, beauty, deep connection, unique bond of friendship. And then you have wishing, covet, longing for, craving, wishing on a star. It feels like your dreams are coming true, honestly, in September. I do feel like there are jealous people around you, so be careful about that. Yeah. We work so hard to make our life amazing. And then when people see you living an amazing life, they get this jealousy and this envy, and can sometimes think that you don't deserve the life you have, and that they do deserve the life that you have, you know, and like, why is it happening for you and not me? And they may seek to kind of sabotage. I don't see this really having an effect in September, but just be careful. You might not want to share too many things like too publicly. You have the Fool card and Judgment as your energy. This is like, really, it is very much taking action. Like, I just keep getting that. Like, maybe you're moving in with someone, maybe someone's actually traveling or actually showing up. Like, maybe we're making the plans to meet, or we're setting this up. But it's like, whatever actually happens, it's like I'm getting like the end of August into September kind of energy, where it's like it really becomes real, it really materializes, it really happens here. It's like someone's going all in. It's like there's another chance, and someone's not taking it for granted. You know what I mean? Like they're going all in. I don't even. I don't like to complicate messages too much, and so, you know, we say like the thing that we feel the most, or I say the thing I feel the most here. But I will say that, like, for some of you, this is a brand new person, this is a brand new situation, and that, you know, a lot of times, like, the person going through the transformation can be you, or it can be the person that you're dealing with here, that's coming into this connection in a fresh new energy, having learned a lot from a past connection. But I just like to put that out there because, yeah, because it is definitely a possibility here. This elephant, coffin, raccoon, clouds energy right here, it all feels very related. And it's just this energy of like understanding, empathy, and compassion of like, I do realize that this connection is pushing someone to maybe their edge, or it's really taking someone to a place where typically their mind would become very overactive, and they're fighting it. They're, I don't even want to say they're fighting it. They're trying to employ their new methods, but the way we process things, it's kind of like the more times we travel down that path, the more times we process something like that, the more likely we are to just process it like that. It's our first response every time, And so to change that process, we actually sort of have to rewire our brain, and we have to give our brain an alternate route. And so that requires us, before we go processing it the one way and dealing with it the one way, we have to become aware that this is happening, and then we have to kind of take an alternate route. And I see this elephant as kind of being very patient and being sort of compassionate and empathetic, and the raccoon with the problem-solving energy is like, let me help you. Would it help if we talk this through? Would it help if, we remind each other that, like, what helps? And it's like figuring it out kind of as a duo. And those things bring you typically much closer together if you can acknowledge, like authentically and vulnerably acknowledge what you're having a hard time with. It's like the other person can sometimes help you through it. And that's sort of what it feels. It feels like, like I understand you have had a hard time and you're trying to change something, and you're trying to put something behind you, as far as like a way of dealing with things or a way of processing things, because it has sabotaged you in the past. And it's like, kind of let me help you, and it does feel very like mental. It feels very much like an overthinking energy, or a, like a way of thinking that is challenging. And it's maintaining your calm in the eye of the storm. It is once you get uncalm, once you give your power over to other people, right? Like allowing your emotions or your responses to rise and fall with someone else and their actions and their behavior, you've given your power away. And so this is one of those things where it's like, if you want to help someone work through something, the best thing you can a lot of times do is keep your own mind clear and maintain your own balance, so that, if there is some kind of conversation, it's not two people emotionally reacting, it's or going down their toxic pattern past, so it's just, it feels like this is like, maybe there is something that we have to work through here, or something, if we're taking action. Like, I mean, I love my husband to pieces, you guys know that. But, we do like home improvement together. We've done a lot of kind of stuff together, and we typically very much enjoy it. But there are times where, I'm a Libra. I like to talk things through. I like to be very communicative. And, sometimes when he's in like drill, nail gun kind of mode, he's very short, like one word responses, sometimes just a and I want to make it make sense. I want to really understand what I'm doing before I do it, because I don't want to mess it up. I like, if I'm going to be your helper, then I want to know, all these things. And like, I know we have a tendency to kind of drive each other crazy because we have a different way. And normally what we'll do is we'll end up laughing about it. Like, we make jokes about it, and they're the same jokes we've been joking for like 28 years, because it's the same difference we've always had, But sometimes, every once in a while, it's like, I get mad, I'm like, I'm asking you a question. I need like more details than like, I need you to tell me, like, hold it like this, put it right here, hit the trigger right there, I'm looking at the fireplace we built as I'm saying this to you. I'm reliving this moment, hilariously, but, you can't tell because it looks amazing. And actually it was pretty funny, and we really didn't fight. And we really did. I mean, overall, we always stand back and we just love what we do together. We're just like, yeah, we did that ourselves. Neither one of us really thought we were those people, but well, thank goodness for YouTube and Pinterest, we've become it. But the thing is, what I'm trying to tell you is, if one person can maintain calm, if one person can maintain balance, then it doesn't matter, you find your way through it, because the person that is reacting, right, is going to come to their senses. That calm is going to affect them. And they're going to take the breath, and they're going to realize, and sometimes I'll come back to my husband and be like, man, I'm sorry, I wish I hadn't said it the way I said it, or that wasn't very nice, or whatever, and then he'll tease me about not being very nice, but, that happens, that is just the way. And he's the Taurus, so he's the one that typically stays pretty calm. I'm the one that's usually like, wait, and so thank goodness. But it can be an opportunity to bring you closer. It can be an opportunity to, realize that you can depend on each other or rely on each other in a different way, and that you are a source of strength for each other. And, it's pretty great, and that's kind of what I see, is that there is some kind of opportunity that happens where it's like there's a lot of compassion, there's a lot of empathy, there's a lot of understanding of, oh, I understand, you're trying to make a transformation, you're trying to make this change, you see it, you know it, and you're choosing it, but you're fighting the urge to process it the way that you've always processed it. And let me be the voice of reason, let me be the calm. Let me just stand here, not condescend to you, not point this out to you, but just to let you go through what you need to go through to come to the place where you are really building, you're integrating what you have learned and the decision that you've made to do different, by me giving you the space to come around to processing it the way you want to, rather than the way you have always done it. So there's something here that is changing within a person, like almost spiritually, through this connection. And it could be both of you. Sometimes, we each have different strengths, so they may be the calm one sometimes, and you may be the calm one sometimes. That typically happens. Okay, you have new beginnings coming in. This is a soulmate, but also a lesson. They are not being honest with you. I heard there's nothing wrong. Nothing's wrong. It's fine. Use your intuition to guide you. Pay attention to the signs. They are guiding you. Yep. If your intuition tells you something's wrong, or this person is going to process something the same old way, don't let them. Ask questions. Be calm, be strong. Don't worry about what it means for you. I don't know. That's just the vibe I'm catching here. I'm just getting like, what's wrong? Nothing. And then it's like, then the person may process it by like going off and ghosting you for a few days. So it's like, don't give me that. You're a terrible liar. Tell me what it is. And I think that they really do want to talk. They really do want to work through it. They really do want to communicate. They really do want to be able to, process their feelings out loud and express themselves. And yeah, this is a major time of transformation or change, I feel like, in this whole situation, because it's like, then you begin to trust that, like, yeah, they really are changing. And yeah, we really can do this. It's a confidence builder. Not even just like it's a confidence builder, but you know what I mean? It's like, hey, we just did that kind of energy. And the more times you have that experience where you're successful and you're doing it, damn, yeah. Yeah, oh my God, look at that. You got Bat Spirit. A rebirth is assured. Clear out the clutter. Absolutely. Yes. I feel so strongly about this. It's like a real opportunity to have a different experience, to have a different outcome from doing something differently as a duo. And it's a blessing. Not everything bad is bad. Everything I do reminds me of you. I always hope to have you in my life. Can you handle all my scars? You are my star who outshines all others. There's a deepening of a level of intimacy happening in September with someone in your life, and it's really beautiful. It's like learning that you really can rely on someone, and that you're really not being judged by someone, and that, you know, everything really can be okay. Look at that, the Two of Cups again. And I shuffled this. We have the Nine of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles in reverse, the Two of Wands in reverse, and the Daughter of Wands upright. Yes. So this energy is, you know, this is someone that, you know, remember at some point in this reading, I swear, I'm pretty sure, this person wasn't sure about what decision to make, and their indecision was their decision. And here we have the Two of Wands in reverse. No, their choice is made. And with the Daughter of Wands, this is the energy of the Page of Wands. They're choosing it. They're going in wholeheartedly. They're like, no, this is what I want. I'm claiming it, and I'm starting off on this adventure. Are you coming with me? And this, with the Four of Pentacles in reverse, is them almost like inviting you into a deeper level, a more sacred space, because they're dropping their defense. They're dropping this energy of, I need to protect myself, of, you know, I can't trust this situation. I need to, you know, hold my chips very close to my vest. With the Nine of Pentacles here, you know, this is, you know, there's a confidence that we move with when we're sure about ourselves. When we know that we, you know, the Nine of Pentacles is not an energy that just happens overnight. It's something that it happens every day through the choices that we make on a daily basis. And it adds up. It's something that takes time, but it like matters when we get there. And when you're operating from a space where it's like, you know that you have the capacity on your own to day after day make choices that take you in a really good place, in a solid place, in a place that, you know, where you're really vibrating from the frequency that you want to vibrate from, that you choose to vibrate from, that life isn't dictating to you how life goes. You're dictating to life what it's going to be to you. There's a real difference. You're moving with a different kind of confidence, and it allows you to step into spaces like relationships and challenging things that with a much more, you know, belief that it is going to be successful, that it is going to work out, that it is going to be okay. And we see with the Two of Cups here, this is like two beings that are coming together, that are meeting each other on the same level, who are saying, yeah, I accept this. You know, I want this. You know, I've done the work to heal myself. You know, healing is not linear. It's always cyclical. We go through these processes many times, even when we are deeply connected with someone. I still go through healing spurts with my husband. I mean, just from my life in general. And, you know, but it's like, I'm by your side. I got you. I got your back. I got you. And that's Pisces. It feels like that's how you're ending September. So you're going through some major changes here toward the end of the year. And I think these first 3 months that we're looking at right here, July through September, is just the beginning. I cannot wait to see what the last 3 months of the year hold for you, October, November, and December. But, okay, well, let me know if this resonates. And guys, you know, thank you again for the comments yesterday. I mean, all the comments always, but I don't know, yesterday, they were like zingers, man. I love you. I cherish you. I want you to have all the good things in life. Always, always, always. Until next time, I send you off with all my very best. Bye-bye.